able to continue now, Mrs. Grant? Now, you just told us that you went to Diana Taylor's apartment on the morning in question, that you then and there discovered her body.
Yes, but what I never told anyone was that when I found the body, I also found the murder weapon. It was right there on the floor, next to her body.
Well, what did you do when you saw the gun on the floor?
I picked it up, and all I could think of was, why did Heather do this? Why did she kill? Have you any idea what it's like to have to ask yourself a question like that about your own child?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Mrs. Grant, but you are now stating that you found the murder weapon, you assumed your daughter had used it to kill Diana Taylor, and therefore you hid it.
Yes.
Well, why didn't you give the gun to us, to the police?
Because I was afraid that Heather would end up in a place for the criminally insane. And then when Joe Kelly found the other gun...
Well, the one that we originally thought was the murder weapon.
Yes, and then Heather said that she had blacked out. I mean, I was so confused, I didn't know what to think, what to do.
Now, when the first gun turned out to be the wrong one, it was then that you knew that you had the actual murder weapon in your possession.
Yes, then I knew.
Mrs. Grant, you're afraid of Heather, aren't you?
God forgive me, yes, I am.
Do you know for a fact, Mrs. Grant, that the gun that Heather used, I'm talking about the gun in your possession now, do you know for a fact that the gun that Heather used was the gun that actually killed Diana Taylor?
No, I don't know it for a fact. Haven't you been listening to what I've been saying?
I think Captain Ramsey and I understand very clearly, Mrs. Grant. If you don't mind, would you excuse us? Please step outside for just a moment. We won't be long.
Whatever you want.
Okay, so she backed up Heather's story. That still doesn't prove who pulled the trigger. Heather, that Crimpton character, or someone else?
Look, we've got a lot of solid proof. We have positive identification. Even Heather admitting that she wrote Ann Logan's name in blood. What more do you want? Mrs. Grant is lying to protect her daughter from going to some snake pit for the criminally insane. And about that gun, Mrs. Grant never had that gun. It was never in her house. Heather Weber has had it ever since she killed Diana Taylor with it.
That's a theory.
No, it's the truth. You bring her back in here and she'll admit it.
Okay, I'll take another crack at it.
Good.
This time, let me talk to her alone, okay?
Well, sure, fine. You have a point. Maybe she'll open up to you rather than with me in the room. But when she does open up, you're going to learn one thing. That Heather Weber is guilty of murder one.
Hello? Anybody home? Les? Oh, it's Jack the Ripper, and I'm coming up there and get you. Oh. Leslie.
Listen, Delphina's gone. But don't come up because I'll be down in a minute. What did Mrs. Cassidine want?
Well, it seems that she's giving some gift or other to the hospital, and a rather sizable one, so Steve wants us all to make a big showing there.
Oh, terrific. Just what I need.
Can we stop all this yelling contest? Come on down here, because we got to go to the taxi barn.
To the where?
Well, Slick has a surprise for us, and the surprise is at the taxi barn, and I promised him we'd be there.
Well, okay, but are you ready? Are you ready for a surprise right now?
Another one? I don't know if I can handle two.
Okay, well, you better sit down then, because it's on its way.
It's like a melody. Da, 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 da. Well?
Well, you are beautiful. Just beautiful. I have never seen... No, the day we were married. No, actually, you're more beautiful now than you were then. You are. Just everything.
Oh, I swan, Doc. You sure do got a way about you.
I'm being very serious, Leslie. I really mean it. You are.
Oh, I don't want you to stop. More.
You do that all the time, and I don't know if I like that. I mean, I'm being very serious with you, and then you turn me off by being flip. The only thing is, I think I know exactly why you do that.
Oh, why is that?
Why is that? Because you are afraid of facing the truth, madam.
What truth would that be, sir?
That we love each other. And that we are meant to be together.
Well, maybe, Laura wouldn't mind if we made it a double wedding.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. You did it again.
Well, what am I supposed to say? Gee, I want to be a bride as well as the mother of the bride.
I think it's a good idea, and I bet you've thought about it.
I
know I've thought about it.
Yeah. I thought about it. Yeah.
And?
Well, listen, all I can say right now is I'm absolutely not sure of anything whatsoever. That's the only thing I'm sure of. Yet. But I am thinking about it.
And?
A lot.
And?
You want more?
Yes.
When I think about it, I feel good.
So do I.
Dear.
Yeah, yes.
Saved by the bell.
Stay right where you are, both of you. I happen to represent some people in this town, and I've got something to say to both of you as parents.
Are you ashamed of your daughter, Mrs. Grant, as a mother?
Yes, I'm ashamed of the things she's done, the things she's caused.
Does it bother you that you weren't able to prevent her from doing harm to others?
I'm her mother. I've tried to protect her all of her life.
Protect her from what?
Well, it goes way back. I mean, when she was a child, I had to protect her from her father. He drank. And then there were influences later on that I had to try to protect her from.
What kind of influences?
The kind that made her sell her baby, the kind that put her into Pine Circle.
Tell me about Pine Circle. Why is it that she was sent from there to Forest Hills?
Her husband didn't want to spend the money. I pleaded with him to leave her at Pine Circle because it was so wonderful for her there.
And yet it seems that Heather was cured at Forest Hills, not Pine Circle. Didn't her husband send her to Forest Hills because they had excellent doctors there?
It was still a mistake. At Pine Circle, she was a happy child.
Child?
Like a child. You know, she just sat there rocking with that baby doll. No one hurting her, she not hurting anyone. She was happy.
Do you believe that Heather murdered Diana Taylor?
I don't know. But I know that she told people that she planned to kill Diana. Do you hear what I'm saying? She said that she planned to kill. Now, isn't that enough to put her back into Forest Hills or Pine Circle?
That's what you want more than anything, isn't it?
Yes, more than anything. Please, don't charge her with murder. Just put my little girl in an institution.
And don't pretend you don't know who I am. My name is Wilson, Irma Wilson. Luke and Laura had apartments in my building.
Yes, we have met. You're their landlady.
I was.
What exactly do you want, Mrs. Wilson?
I want you both to understand. Your daughter and Luke Spencer are heroes in this community. They are looked up to and admired, especially by our young people.
And you think that's wrong?
I think this Mexican divorce is wrong. Yes, and more, it is evil. What? Everyone in Port Charles is looking forward to a fine, decent wedding. But what do we have? Our heroes run off so your daughter can get one of those Mexican divorces you read about in dime novels. That is disgusting. And furthermore, I have talked to my minister, and he agrees with me.
You're just upset and furious because Luke Spencer wouldn't buy your rat-infested apartment building.
That building is a palace. However, the fact remains this wedding must be stopped.
Stopped? Are you out of your mind, lady.
No, but I strongly suspect you are if you permit this mockery to go on. A Mexican divorce indeed. They have tarnished everything that good, decent people stand for, and we will not stand by and permit it.
Are you quite through?
I have said my piece.
Good, because I'm just going to begin right now, madam. Who the devil do you think you are that you can pass judgment on anybody? That you have the right to say what is right or wrong? Are you the Lord Almighty that you can sit and pass judgment on what is decent or moral? What I happen to think is decent is the way my daughter loves Luke Spencer.
Dr. Weber, I don't...
Shut up! I was quiet for you, you be quiet for me. My daughter is going to get a divorce. It's going to be a valid, legal divorce. And unless it's contested, it will stay that way. And I hope and I pray and I feel no one will contest it. What gives you the right to think that you can pass judgment on anyone other than yourself?
How dare you speak to me this way?
I dare do it because you're standing in our home.
Doctor, you are no gentleman.
And you are a bigot, lady. That door opens in. You're going out right now. Excuse me. Leslie, please. Move! I'll take garbage like that from anybody.
I know. Oh, I'm so proud of you. That was terrific.
I hated what she said, but, you know, there could be others just like her. And I pray no one contests that divorce.
Here's your mother. Where have you been?
Don't start in on me, Heather.
How could you do this to me? Let me just sit here.
I have been to Nevada to see my grandson.
Oh. I didn't figure that. I saw you leave the house with your suitcase, but it didn't dawn on me you were going to see Jeff.
Well, you might as well hear it all. When I went to see Jeff, he took me to his lawyer, and I answered a bunch of questions under oath that can be used in the divorce case to give him full custody of Stephen Lars.
What do you mean you answered questions?
Just that. The same kind of questions that Jeff's lawyer sent to me in the letter. I answered all of them, too.
I knew it. That's why I snuck into your house, you know. I saw you and Leslie packing up for the shower, and so I snuck in while you were making trips to the car.
So that's when you were there.
I wanted to know what you said about me. I still want to know.
If you mean about the custody of Stephen Lars, I told them that you are not a fit mother.
What about the gun I found in your house? That gun I found in your drawer. What were you doing with the gun that killed Diana Taylor?
I know all about it.
Well, I'm sure you do, but I don't. What were you doing with that gun?
I found the gun when I discovered Diana's body. It was right there next to her, so I took it and I kept it.
Well, were you planning to tell someone about it, or are you just going to let me sit here and rot forever?
Relax, Heather. I have been to the district attorney, and I have told him everything, word for word.
Then they still can't prove anything. They can't say I pulled that trigger because they can't prove it. This means they can't convict me, doesn't it?
I don't know, Heather. But I am so sorry. I just wish that there was some way that I could help you.
If you really want to help me, then find out who did use that gun. Help me find that out.
Heather, baby, I would do anything, but I don't know how.
I just told you how. That gun belonged to Diana Taylor, and I didn't use it to kill anyone. Let's find out who did.
I'm not late.
Well, we just got here, so...
insistent, you know, that I would be here.
No, it's all right, dear. It's all right, because we were told to wait here. You did say to wait here, didn't you?
I was just repeating what Mr. Jones said. You're all supposed to wait here.
Okay, wait here.
Isn't this interesting? You know, I always wanted to know where taxis go to when there are no people in them.
Well, they're certainly never around when you need them, you know that.
No, especially in rainy weather.
Yeah.
I do hope that Laura had no problems with her divorce in Mexico.
None that we're aware of, anyway, and I figure that has to mean that everything's all right, because if there'd been a problem, she probably would have called.
Yes, of course she would, and, you know, I'm really proud of those two. I mean, doing all those things and doing what they felt was right.
I wish everyone felt that way, Lana.
Well, they do, don't they?
Oh, Rick is referring to a rather nasty conversation we had with a former landlady of Laura's. But, you know, we were the ones who just warned her about possible reaction to this kind of a divorce.
Yeah.
Well, the way I look at it, love won out. And that's the way it should be. Oh.
Okay, you guys. We're ready. Come in.
Ah, I think we're being summoned. Here.
Is this the snaz or is this the snaz?
Snazzy is the word. Just perfect, Slicker.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, in England, you know, the wedding couples, they go to the wedding in carriages. So for Luke and Laura, I thought we'd do it one little step better.
And guess what? Slicker has 3 more of these antique cars, and they'll be ready by tomorrow.
Excuse me a second. Is there a phone? Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Thanks.
By the way, have you heard any word from Luke and Laura yet?
No, I was just telling Lila I haven't heard anything, so I figured that just means everything went well and they're on their way back here.
Well, Luke better be here tonight. That's all I can tell you, because we got a bachelor party planned for him that you wouldn't believe, okay?
Yes, I know. We have decided that all of the ladies are going to come over to my house because if you guys can live it up, we can live it up. Am I right, Lila?
What sauce for the goose, dear?
Yeah, we say what sauce for the goose.
Leslie, I got an emergency at the hospital. Can you get a ride back?
Oh, sure.
My chauffeur can drop you, dear, wherever you want.
But I got a better idea, if you don't mind, Lila, begging your pardon. But I think the mother of the bride should ride home in class in this little baby. Just let me get it started. One second.
Thanks a lot.
I'll get the princess started.
Right. Sit on the running board there.
Okay, here we go. Yeah.
Lila, if the offer is still open, I think I'll ride home with you. Nothing personal, Slick. I just do have to get home sometime before morning.
Oh, well, I certainly hope that you can get it started by tomorrow, Slick.
I'm going to get this thing started.
Orderly to the 7th floor with wheelchair staff. Orderly to the 7th floor with wheelchair staff.
Oh, you're back at last. What happened with Mrs. Cassadine? We're all dying of curiosity.
Well, I think the general idea is that she wants to make some sort of gift to the hospital.
She's on the level, Steve. I know her.
Well, we'll certainly find out at a reception moment.
Well, does that mean you're going to go?
Well, I think we have to give the lady a chance. I'll issue a memo to all the board members and the staff who've been invited that they should attend.
And, of course, they'll be there out of curiosity.
Jesse, have you located Rick yet?
He's on his way.
Okay, tell him I'm in CICU, okay? Tell him stat.
Right. Well, I wonder if anyone's heard anything about Heather. Well, only that her mother flew in from Nevada today and that she was going directly to the district attorney. Wonder if that means they're finally going to bring formal charges against Heather.
After listening to Mrs. Grant, Bert, I have to agree with you. The woman's not only overprotective of Heather, she's frightened of her.
But why shouldn't she be? Heather's a killer.
I have no solid proof of that.
Are you telling me you're going to release her?
Well, hardly, but I can't charge her with murder one either. I've got a court or the grand jury. They jump down my throat. But there is one thing I can do.
Oh, what?
I've got to charge her with assault with intent to kill.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, that's a bailable offense.
I have already thought of that. I'm going to ask the court to set bail at $100,000. You think she can raise that and get out?
No, not in 100 years.
Well, then she stays locked up. And while she's locked up, we can continue working on this. Look into it thoroughly. Who knows? We might turn up something new. And if we do, I'll file for an amended complaint.
Amended to what?
Murder one.
Mother, do I have to beg you to help me?
Heather, don't you know that I want to? But what can I do?
I told you. You can help me find out who killed Diana Taylor.
Now, how in the world can I do that? If anyone can help you, it should be your lawyer.
That's what I'm trying to say. I want my lawyer. I want you to get me my lawyer, Joe Kelly.
Joe Kelly is not your lawyer. The court has assigned someone else to you.
Mother, listen to me. Joe will take my case back if you tell him the truth. Go to him and tell him what you told the district attorney. Please, will you do that?
I will if you think it's going to do any good.
Do any good? Don't you understand? If Joe takes my case back, he'll get me out of here. I know he will. I'm begging you. Get me Joe Kelly.
This is Joan London. Tomorrow, First Lady Nancy Reagan, Andy Kaufman, and Robert Stack, plus Space Shuttle updates on Good Morning America.
Blake Carrington, guilty or innocent? The verdict on Dynasty, Wednesday at 10, 9 Central and Mountain.
Saturday on Maggie, Buffy thinks her diamond was mixed into Bruce's birthday cake. It's a wild hunt for the kid who swallowed it. And on Making a Living, Cassie gets a marriage proposal from an old boyfriend only minutes away from saying I do to somebody else. Will Valerie lose her heart to Jen?